Hola everyone, how are you today? I hope you're doing great. So this morning, I'll be sharing about the Portuguese language. And before that, I'll be sharing some fact about Portuguese language. Did you know that there are more Portuguese speakers in Brazil than in all other countries where Portuguese is spoken? I know that you're wondering why, and here's the reason. It is because Brazil was a Portuguese colony. And let's proceed to the background of the Portuguese language. Portuguese language developed in the Western Iberian Peninsula from Latin spoken by Roman soldiers and colonists starting in the 3rd century BC. Old Portuguese or Portuguese, also known as Galician Portuguese language. It is begun to diverge from other Romance languages after the fall of the Western Roman Empire and the Germanic invasions, or it is also known as barbarian invasions, in the 5th century and started appearing in written documents around the 9th century. By the 13th century, Galician Portuguese had become a mature language with its own literature and began to split into 2 languages. However, the debate of whether Galician and Portuguese are nowadays varieties of the same language, or much like American English or British English, is still present. Portuguese is essentially the result of an organic evolution of Vulgar Latin with some influences from other languages, namely the native Galician and Lusitanian languages spoken prior to the Roman denomination. Here's the facts about Portuguese language. A Portuguese-speaking person or nation is referred to as Lusophone or Lusofono. It is the result of expansion during colonial times. A cultural presence of Portuguese speakers is also found around the world. Portuguese language has approximately 250 million native speakers and 24 million Alto speakers, with approximately 274 million total speakers, and usually listed as the 6th most spoken language and the 3rd most spoken European language in the world in terms of native speakers. It is also said that Portuguese language is one of the most important spoken around the world today, not only because it is the 6th most spoken language, but because it also has a presence on almost all of the continents. To know more about Portuguese language, I will be presenting 11 facts that supported the Portuguese language. Number 1, it is the official language of 9 countries. So what are those 9 countries who speaks Portuguese? So of course, number 1, Portugal, Brazil, Mozambique, Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Timor-Leste, Equatorial Guinea, Cape Verde, and Sao Tome and Principe. Furthermore, Portuguese is the official language of the Chinese Autonomous Territory of Macau. Number 2, only 5% of Portuguese speakers live in Portugal. So why there are only 5% of Portuguese speakers live in Portugal? It is because the majority of Portuguese speakers are not from Portugal. However, they came from Brazil and Mozambique. Number 3, Portuguese language. It's the fastest growing European language in the world behind English. Due to the huge numbers of Portuguese speakers around the world and its distribution across South America, Europe, Africa, and Asia, Portuguese is growing fast and has the potential to be an international communication language according to UNESCO. Number 4, it's heavily influenced by Arabic. As the Islamic Moors from North America and the Middle East conquered Portugal and Spain in the 8th century, a form of Arabic was the official language of the Iberian Peninsula until the Reconquista of the 13th century. As a result, the Portuguese language underwent a heavy influence from Arabic, and many words of Arabic origin remain in everyday parlance, including almohada or cushion, acetona or olive, and garrafa for bottle. Number 5, its longest word has 29 letters, while in English there are only 28 letters. This word is anti-disestablishmentarianism. In Portuguese, it is anticonstitucionalissimamente, which means in a very unconstitutional way. It is the longest non-technical word in the Portuguese language with 29 letters in total. Number 6, English has borrowed several Portuguese words. Portuguese worldwide spread inevitably led to several of its words making their way into the English language. Examples are embarrass, coming from the Portuguese embaracar, to tie in knots, cobra, and fetish, from fetico meaning a charm or sorcery. Number 8, Portuguese has two verbs meaning from the word to be, while English to be is universal. Portuguese has two different verbs for these situations. It is ser and estar. Ser is for permanent and unchanging examples, while estar is for temporary situations such as mood or weather, because mood and weather can be changed anytime. However, this separation throws up some fascinating quirks, as the Portuguese language considers marriage to be permanent and unchanging. So, since it is permanent and unchanging, we will use the word ser. So, they use ser casado instead of estar casado. Number 9, European and Brazilian Portuguese are quite different. While often compared to the difference between American and British English, which are variations of the same language, yet very similar. Portuguese from Portugal and Portuguese from Brazil are considerably more distant. The main difference comes in the use of the second person pronoun. In Portugal, tu and vós are commonly used, while these are rarely heard in Brazil, which favors the pronouns você and vozes. Number 10, it only had 23 letters until 2009. Until recently, the letters K, W, and Y were not part of the Portuguese language. In words such as kilogram, Portuguese would swap out the K for ki or kilograma, while W and Y sounds were only ever found in foreign proper nouns. In 2009, Portuguese-speaking countries around the world got together to sign a new orthographic agreement, which standardized spelling forms across different variations of Portuguese and introduced the letters K, W, and Y. And last, number 11, Portuguese comes from Galicia in northwest Spain. The roots of the Portuguese language are based in the autonomous community of Galicia. In the north of Portugal and the northwest of Spain, their language, Galician, was a mix of local dialects and common Latin. And around the 14th century, Portuguese emerged as a descendant language. And even today, speakers of Portuguese and Galician have no trouble understanding one another. What are the importance or the benefits of learning the language? First, the language is gorgeous. To have a secret language advantage, there are 252 million people to talk to. To visit Brazil, it's a gateway language. It's essential for living in Portugal. It will improve your travel prospects. Portuguese is becoming a valuable language to know. It's necessary for getting Portuguese citizenship. There will be less competition for language jobs. Portuguese is a great base language. Portuguese is a beautiful language. This is the alphabet of the Portuguese language. So I'll be sharing this video tutorial so that we will know how to pronounce these letters correctly. So let's proceed to the basic words of Portuguese language. First, bom dia for good morning, boa tarde for good afternoon, boa noite for good night, hola for hello, oi for hi, alô or Estela when we are talking on the phone, like we are saying hello. But let us remember that the former is used in Brazil while you'd say the latter in Portugal. Tchau for bye, ate logo for see you later, and ate amanhã see you tomorrow. Adios for goodbye when it is in formal way. Tudo bem? How are you? Como vai? How it's going? For our conclusion, let us remember that Portuguese language is one of the most important spoken around the world today. Not only it is the 6th most spoken language in the world, but it also has a presence on almost all of the continents. We should embrace and be proud on the language we have, because God loved us no matter what language we used.